Happy April Ghouls, horror lovers, and some of the best horror franchises are streaming for free right now on Pluto TV, and we need to talk about some of these because I did not realize how many are streaming on there right now, some of which I need to go back to because I've just forgotten about them or I just never got around to watching some of these in the franchises. Some of these franchises have like 7 movies in there. That's a lot of movies to have in one franchise, but I can catch them all on Pluto TV. But today I want to deep dive into some fun facts about my 4 favorite horror movie franchises streaming on Pluto TV. First up is one of my favorite horror movie franchises of all time, which is Paranormal Activity. And Pluto TV has Paranormal Activity, Paranormal Activity 2, Paranormal Activity 3, Paranormal Activity 4, and the marked ones, which is honestly one of my favorite ones. The fun fact number 1 about the Paranormal Activity franchise, the first Paranormal Activity was shot on a $15,000 budget and over a span of 7 days in the director's house, which is unfathomable to me. 1, the fact that it only cost $15,000 to make the movie. 2, that it only took a week to film this cinematic masterpiece. And 3, that he did it in his own house. Like, did he sleep in the bed that they were yanked out of? I need to know. And fun fact number 2, when Steven Spielberg first watched Paranormal Activity, he was so convinced that his DVD was haunted, he actually brought the DVD to work in a garbage bag because he was so freaked out by it. Which, if you can scare Steven Spielberg, that's like bragging rights for the rest of your life. Fun fact number 2 is that Steven Spielberg got a rough cut of the DVD and he started watching it at night, but then got so freaked out that he was like, I have to pause this and start it up the next morning. And if you can freak out Steven Spielberg, that is like bragging rights for the rest of your life. And fun fact number 3, the movie was almost entirely improvised. The actors in the movie only got like little outlines and kind of directions on what the scene was going to be like, but as far as a full-blown script, there wasn't any, and that's why the movie is so natural, which I absolutely love this because we can tell that the movie took a lot of inspiration from the Blair Witch Project, and that's exactly what happened with the Blair Witch Project. They really didn't have a script. They were just like, here's the scene and just do what you do. And it just makes for some of the best movies ever made. Moving on to another one of my favorite horror franchises of all time, which is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And Pluto TV includes the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Texas Chainsaw 3D, and Leatherface. Fun fact number 1 about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is honestly one of my favorite fun facts about this franchise, which is that the original title was going to be Head Cheese. Can you imagine the Texas Chainsaw Massacre being called Head Cheese? Wild. The reason behind this original title of Head Cheese is because in the script, this hitchhiker is talking about this weird jellied like meatloaf thing being made, which is head cheese. I'm glad they went with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre instead. Fun fact number 2 about the franchise is although that Leatherface makes like noises and grunts and screams, in the entire franchise, he actually never speaks a single word, which I love this continuity because it just adds to the eeriness of his character. And fun fact number 3 is that the dinner sequence, the infamous dinner sequence in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, even though it only took up a couple of minutes in the runtime of the movie, it took 27 consecutive hours to shoot, along with the production of the movie already being super grueling because it was in the middle of Texas, so it was super humid. It was summertime, so it was like 110-degree weather, but it took 27 hours to shoot this scene. I don't know how they made it through. Moving on to another one of my favorite horror movie franchises, and honestly, I feel like a very underappreciated horror movie franchise, which is Urban Legend. Pluto TV has all 3 of the movies in the franchise: Urban Legend, Urban Legend's Final Cut, my personal favorite, and Urban Legend's Bloody Mary. Fun fact number 1 about this franchise is not 1, not 2, but 3 horror legends show up in the first movie. The first horror legend being the voice of Chucky, Brad Dourif, who cameos as the gas station attendant in the beginning of the movie, who yells the infamous line, "Someone's in the back seat." I love that scene. The second horror legend being Freddy Krueger himself, Robert Englund, who plays Professor Professor Wexler. He is the professor that teaches the class on folklore and urban legends. And the third horror movie legend being Danielle Harris, who's known for her roles in the Halloween franchise, but she plays the goth roommate, which I love the urban legend that's connected to her character. Wild. Fun fact number 2 of the franchise is that Michelle Mancini's character is actually a nod to Child's Play creator Don Mancini, which I love all of these little horror connections in the movie. It just makes it so meta. And fun fact number 3 is that when Natalie and Damon get into Damon's car, he turns it on and the Dawson's Creek theme song starts blasting through the radio. And this was actually a little joke that the director put in the movie for Damon's character, who was played by Joshua Jackson, because at the time, Joshua Jackson was famously known for his character Pacey in Dawson's Creek, but Joshua Jackson didn't actually know that was going to happen until the movie was finished and they started doing test screenings, and then everyone was like dying laughing that the Dawson's Creek theme song was in there, which is so cute to me. And diving into the last of my favorite horror movie franchises, which is The Ring, and Pluto TV has all 3 of them: The Ring, The Ring 2, and Rings. Fun fact number 1 about this franchise is the freaky body movement that Samara makes in the movie is because she actually did everything backwards and then they played it in reverse so that it had this like weird unnatural movement to it, which is incredibly freaky to me. Fun fact number 2 about the franchise is the 7-day curse. The reason why it's 7 days before the viewer of the VHS tape dies is because that symbolizes how long it took for Samara to die of the elements and hypothermia when she was in the well. She clung to life for 7 days before she, of course, met her demise. And fun fact number 3 is the spooky lighthouse that we see in the movie, which actually is a real place that you can visit in Newport, Oregon, which is the Yaquina Head Lighthouse, and I feel like I need to take a trip there. Thank you for sticking around to listen to all these horror movie fun facts with me. I had a blast. Don't forget that you can watch all these horror movie titles and more during April Ghouls on Pluto TV.